Now this is a massive blast from the past. This, and along with I think 3 or 4 other machines identical to it, were the first ever free PCs that I got, and the first free PCs that I demoed on the channel. Now, I did a lot with these PCs, absolutely loads. I gave one to my mum a while ago. When I say a while ago, I mean back in 2010, and she used it for Microsoft Word and stuff, and the odd bit of light internet browsing. It worked really well for her until she got a laptop in, I think, late 2012, I think. So it did a good year or 2 for her. I also used one myself, and a cool bit of history, I actually played through Max Payne 2 on one of these, because I got this just after I got rid of, I think, my MDD dual 1 GHz to get the G5. So I wasn't playing, I played Max Payne 1 on my MDD, and I played Max Payne 2 on this because I had a PC copy. So it's quite a cool little machine. I gave one to James, and James pretty much, I don't think he ever really used his. I think he just took it apart straight away and fiddled about with it, which was cool. You know, they were old PCs. And I think I don't know what I've done with the other one. I'm trying to remember, but I may have given it to someone else or something. I'm not too sure. But anyway, the bottom line is I still have one left, and there may be more left. I think this is my last one. I've been digging around all my stuff, and of course, as you guys know, I've previously done 2 PC teardowns, one of that HP PC and one of that Philips PC, and now this one. This is an older system than both of those, I think, and it's kind of saddening to do this, but it's better for the case to be recycled and for the components to be recycled rather than just sticking the whole thing in landfill. And someone asked me, Tom, why are all your PCs teardown videos lately? And that's basically because I've either shown the PC before on the channel and I've made all the videos I can about it, or I'm just, you know, clearing space, or pretty much both. That's what all of them are, is both of those reasons. So I'm sorry that you're seeing another teardown in such a close proximity to the other ones, guys, but I believe this is my last PC tower to get rid of, so this is probably the last teardown for a good little while, at least I think. So let's start by taking the side panel off. Now this system is already giving off a little bit of dust and stuff. It's been in storage for a long time. I haven't done anything with it for a long time. I believe when I got the Mac Pro, I pretty much took this PC off my setup. If you go back to my first ever room tour of this room, the 3-parter that I recorded with my iPhone, then this PC is actually part of this setup. But I didn't have a KVM, so I had a separate keyboard and mouse and stuff, so you know, that was fairly different. Now of course there's nothing much in here. A few of these PCs had upgraded RAM. This one doesn't appear to, so I'm not sure if this was the one I was using. I don't think so. This one doesn't have a video card in it. I think most of them, if not all, had a Radeon 9500 with 64 megs of VRAM, but I'm not even sure if that's right. But I do know for a fact that they all had these Western Digital 80GB drives in them, IDE drives of course, and I've recently given quite a few of those away. I must have had 5 PCs because I had 5 of those drives, and there's one in here, so let's just unplug this. And they have quite a cool drive mounting mechanism, if I can remember how it works. I believe you just pull the little lever here and it slides out like this, which is cool. So yeah, this one I haven't fiddled about with at all. This was probably one that I didn't do anything with because it's still got the floppy drive in it, and I did actually take the floppy drives out of all of the systems. I think I took it out of my mum's and stuff, I believe. Or this could be my mum's one, I'm not too sure. But we will address the drive cage a little bit later on. What I'm also going to do is take the other side panel off, because I know that we need access from the other side to get the optical drive out. Now, as you guys can imagine, well, as you probably think, I've got loads of crappy PC components hanging around, but I've actually been getting rid of quite a few of them. I've been giving them away to a couple of different people locally, and that's really helped me out because they get to play around with some older PC stuff, and obviously it's giving me a lot more space. So, we now have the 2 side panels off the case. Let's do one last thing that we can do from the outside, and that is get rid of the power supply. So unplugging the 20 pin and unplugging the
4-pin, if I can even get to it. If I can even see where it is. There we go, it's in this top corner I think, guys. Oh, it might... I don't know where it is, I can't see. I don't know if I'm being incorrect here, guys, but there doesn't appear to be a 4-pin on the motherboard, so I'm not too sure about that one. We'll have to have a closer look in a minute, but it is quite cramped in there. This is a Micro ATX case. 4-slot Micro ATX case, of course. Your standard Micro ATX case. It's actually a little bit smaller than something like a Fractal Design Core 1000, which is my bare basic good Micro ATX case of reference. This is a very small tower PC, very small indeed. But, you know, still not bad. Let me hold the power supply because I don't know. Ah, that's okay. Just pull this out. If it'll come out. Here we go. So they're well mounted in here, guys, because it's got this big bracket on the top of the case, so it's quite hard to get out. We may have to get out the optical drive first. So let's take a look at that. Oh, here comes the top of the case. Might be able to get the power supply out the top of the case. Yeah, here we go. We can get it out the top. And power is still plugged into the optical drive. And what else? Nothing, it's just connected with a cable tie there. And that is that. There we have the power supply. As always in these teardown videos, guys, I've done 2 very recently, so you guys know that we'll be taking a look at all the components closely at the end. Well, not too closely, there's not a lot to see. So, last thing from here then, from the top, let's take away the optical drive, get rid of these IDE cables, throw those down there. Now what I like about this case is there's nothing fancy. It's just basic, it's your basic, everything's screwed in, there's none of this quick release stuff. I believe it's pretty much all from before that kind of era. Now a couple of these PCs had upgrades, like I said, a couple had some more RAM. I think standard they had 256. That screw's gone down there, not to worry. Standard they had 256 megs. I believe one actually had a gigabyte when it came. They all came out of offices, and they've given me a lot of videos and a lot of enjoyment, so they've definitely served their purpose, and they've actually been used a couple of times, but they're just too old. They're Athlon XP systems, 1.6 gigahertz. Don't know the socket, it's too old for my knowledge. I should really know, but I didn't really care about that kind of thing when I was playing around with these. Here's that audio cable I was talking about in one of the previous videos, connecting the optical drive to the motherboard or sound card. There's the DVD drive, simple. I believe they are actually DVD drives. This one's missing its bezel, so I can't tell. It's an LG DVD-ROM drive. So it's not an ancient system. These did have Windows XP on them, and they've got a Windows XP sticker on the top, so they are definitely newer than 2001. So all that's left to do now is take out the motherboard. It's really shocking how lightweight this case is, guys, since removing all of that stuff. It is such a light case, but the computer itself is very heavy. The power supply is very, very heavy, along with the panels. The top panel is really heavy, the side panels are really heavy. So all screws out. Let's grab our motherboard. Oh, and the fan is still connected, my bad. There we go. Here's the motherboard, Micro ATX. This board is, let me see if I can find out who makes this board. This is a Gigabyte board, guys, as you can see on the heatsink here. Gigabyte. And the cool thing is about this board, it's got the PC speaker built onto it. I really like that. As you can see, 2 IDE channels and a floppy channel. And no SATA. 20-pin power only, no 4-pin power, and of course no 8-pin power. Really little CPU heatsink. This is quite old stuff. Looking at the back, we've got 2 USB ports, Ethernet, and of course your PS2 and stuff. Nothing crazy at all. Very, very old stuff here, guys. It's one of the oldest PCs I've had to look at on my channel, which is a shame because I'd like to look at some old 90s DOS stuff and that, and some 80s stuff. And I do have some old sort of, you know, UK style all-in-ones, if that makes sense, from the 80s, you know, your ZX Spectrums and stuff like that, your BBC Micros, that kind of thing. Actually, no, mine's an Acorn Electron. I've got a couple of those that I'd like to show on the channel before I get rid of those, because they're part of the clear out as well. But in terms of, you know, the ATX stuff and the standard desktop PC stuff, this is one of the oldest I've had. So let's move the motherboard to one side, and we may as well finish off kind of thoroughly by taking the case fan out. I know it's boring by now, guys, third teardown video, but it's all in the name of progress, and there are very exciting things to come. Let's get rid of this screw, and there is pretty much nothing that I can salvage from this case, unfortunately, guys. As you know, all the screws, I will keep all the screws, but there's absolutely no point in me. Oh, there's only 2 fan screws in this. There's absolutely no point in me keeping anything else. It's all junk pretty much, unfortunately. It's all working to my knowledge, but you know, it's turning into stuff that you can't really use. You can install Windows 7 on these systems. I did it for a laugh. It's actually quite a popular video that I did. But yeah, that's the fan out, case out the way. I will maybe steal some of these connectors. I may need some extra connectors because I'm doing a little bit of a project, as you guys know. I almost forgot to attend to the drives, guys. That would have been a complete disaster, wouldn't it? Very familiar with these drive bays. I fiddled around a lot with these PCs when I got them, both on and off the channel. Let's do this. And one thing I've actually just remembered is I've forgotten to take the I/O shield out of the case. It is definitely, in terms of, you know, dust, one of the worst cases that I've done with these teardown videos recently. I've actually recently chucked a couple of floppy drives in the bin because there's just nothing else you can do with them really, or chuck them out for scrap with the case. But I had so many floppy drives hanging around, I don't even know why. There's our beloved floppy drive, covered in cack on the top, absolutely horrible. One thing that does always come in handy is hard drive screws, so it's worth doing that. Getting the old hard drive screws out. All the screws are surprisingly tight in this PC. Not sure why. Get rid of another one last screw, and then we can call this one a day, guys. Boom. Here we have our 80GB Western Digital IDE hard drive. So taking a look at what we've got, guys, we've got the motherboard, RAM and CPU. There it is. Old stuff. So I'll be giving it away, or including it in a big giant bundle of eBay auctions. 80GB Western Digital drive. And I've been trying to cut down on hoarding old hard drives, and I've been giving a load of them away as well. Power supply, actually not a bad power supply, I don't think, guys. It is a FSP Group Incorporated power supply. Haven't heard of those, but they seems to be okay when I was running the systems. Obviously very old though, 20-pin connector. Load of screws naturally. The fan, front panel connectors that I salvaged, but I don't know why, because that's a very unusable length. And then, of course, we have down here the case ready to go out and scrap. We have the IDE cables along with that audio cable that is just, you know, bin stuff. And then obviously the side panels, the optical drive is here. This is a component that won't be going out for scrap, you know, that'll be included in a bundle or something. Someone may be able to use it somewhere. But of course, side panels going with the case and everything. So that is it. That is hopefully my last PC teardown, guys. And as you can imagine, the clearing out is going well. You know, getting rid of 3 PC towers is saving a lot of space, but there's still a lot of stuff up there. So I was trying to kind of evenly create content. You know, I was hoping not to do this teardown for a while, but this PC is just so heavy and in the way, and I'm sick of moving it, that I wanted to get it out of the way completely. So that's it for this PC, guys. No more of these free PCs. That's an end of an era, even though you haven't seen a video on them in years. Until I get the next free PC to play with, you will not be seeing any of this stuff, unfortunately. But it's no problem, because as you guys know, I stumble upon this kind of stuff all the time, and it'll only be a matter of a few months before we're playing around with this kind of stuff again. So please don't get too sad. A couple of people were getting quite sad in the comment section last time about me stripping out these old PCs. And if anyone wants to comment about how they may think this is usable, please resist, because this is by far the oldest and slowest system that I've torn apart. So, you know, yes, someone could have used a 2.4 gigahertz celery stick, but no one could really use this Athlon XP system for anything these days. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please give me a thumbs up if you did, thumbs down if you didn't, leave me a comment, and as always, guys, I will catch you in Monday's video. I hope you have a brilliant weekend. Hope you've enjoyed this week of videos. I've really enjoyed making them, and of course I'll see you next week with loads more fun stuff ready to show you guys, as well as really exciting project stuff and really exciting unboxing stuff. Huge thanks as always, guys, and I will see you next week.